It's possible that you've been stuck on a creative idea or a business idea for a long time. And that's something that I have a lot of experience with is being stuck on a creative project, being stuck on an idea and how I'm going to execute that and actually put something out there into the real world versus just living in this internal world, conceptualizing and perfecting the idea before it becomes physical form. As an artist and a creative entrepreneur, you can spend years thinking about a problem before actually doing something about it. And you have to catch yourself at a certain point when you've been thinking about something for too long. I caught myself in this exact trap where it felt like I was making progress internally because I was continually refining the idea and thinking about what the perfect execution path is going to be. And that is useful to a degree. But after a certain point, you're now actually spinning your wheels inside of your head versus taking some action. Because through that action, no matter how small or big it is, you're actually going to discover new things about that project that inform the project itself. So by actually taking small or large steps, you're going to iterate and forge a new path through that project that didn't exist in your head because you can't foresee every single detail of what's going to come up in your execution path, whether that's, the style of videos that you're making, the style of music that you're making, the business plan, the partners that you're going to work with is going to affect the thing as you do it. And it's important to actually try out the lower budget of something, and knowingly it's not going to probably be the final version of what you're using, whether that's an iPhone to shoot your documentary, a starter business plan on a platform that you have to pay for the business plan. But using the smaller version of the tool and the more rudimentary version of it and just making some experiments will get you out of that rut. Through the experimentation process and through that action taking, even with that smaller version of what you want to create, is going to inform you about the project. New insights will appear during that creation. So that's why it's important and helpful to take that action. When you've got this grand idea about a masterpiece or a huge business that you'd like to create, you've loaded up this massive weight of perfection on your shoulders to have the perfect thing ready to go day one when you release it or when you start working on it. And it's not how it works. When you continually ideate on this project in your head, you actually attach all these little extra concepts on top of it, like these extra pathways that you can take with the project that add weight to what you're going to be creating, and you can feel that weight. And that is part of the resistance that you're facing and why you haven't taken as much action on the thing that you wish you would have taken more action on, is you've created such a high version of it in your head that it's too heavy for you to take action on, because you've got this perfect idea and you've also got 10 roadblocks in front of that it's going to take to have that larger version of the thing that you're thinking about. So don't destroy those attachments that you've made to the project. Don't destroy those high budget concepts, but sideline them in favor of taking some action on the core. So identifying the core of the project, the core of the idea, the core of the value that you want to provide to people. When you distill your project into That, now all of a sudden, it's a new paradigm, because then you're getting straight to the heart and the source of really what you're trying to create, whether it's a feeling in other people, whether it's a certain value that you're trying to provide to people. Now, once you've identified that, your project will actually naturally simplify in the beginning, because you see more direct pathways to providing that value in the first place, versus, oh, well, I need this to be able to do that, to be able to do that in order to do this. You stack all these requirements on your project. Like, to be a musician, I would have to shoot a $5 million music video in order for it to go viral and blah, blah, blah. But what is the core of your idea? The core of your idea is putting your soul out there with your music, resonating with other people in video form. That's the core of the idea. You've attached a very specific and narrow view of how you want to accomplish that, or how you think that should be accomplished. And don't take that off the table, because anything's possible. And with the right allocation and budget and momentum with your project, or the right connections, it could easily happen. But for now, if you don't have 5 million liquid sitting there ready to make a $5 million music video, start with an iPhone and your friends, just shooting a concept video, so you kind of get into the flow of, all of a sudden you're no longer a musician who's thought about music videos. You're a musician who's made music videos. And that is an identity level shift that creates a whole new paradigm for you as a human being. Because now that you've taken action and you've stepped outside of the overthinking part, and you've created a concept video, there will be insights from that concept video that you can either publish the video, that it's actually good enough to where, oh, hey, actually this feels good enough to publish, even though it doesn't have to be the only thing I publish, and it doesn't have to be the masterpiece. Let yourself work on stuff that's not the mega masterpiece. This is a trap that I fell into for years, where it was like, well, if this isn't the grand masterpiece, then I'll be judged because this is less than a masterpiece. It's okay to work on stuff that's less than a masterpiece. You're allowed to work on simple projects. You're allowed to work on low budget projects that inform you, that sharpen you, and they will also give you better insight for that masterpiece that's an eventuality. Falling into the trap of perfectionism, I think, starts there. So starting simple and small, even just for 10 minutes, when you're done with your other work for the day, just touching on the project is going to be huge. That momentum and that identity shift that occurs after you've actually taken some action is monumental. You can notice your subconscious when it starts to make excuses like, well, the reason I can't shoot a music video is because I don't have some fancy camera. But you probably have a phone that shoots video. So you can shoot something resembling a music video. That'll just be good practice. Just practice shooting. You know you're not going to publish it. Your body's going to be safe in that feeling. So part of this is an emotional blockage where you're essentially afraid to start filming or start your project or start your business because you are not sure what that looks like, how it feels, or you feel like it has to be perfect when you start filming your first thing. That's never going to be the case. You have to iterate, you have to practice, you have to create a bunch. Create a bunch of practice videos, shoot a bunch of videos, and you'll just continue to refine yourself. Make a bunch of songs, create a bunch of documents for your business, just start typing stuff out. It doesn't have to be perfection, but it's better to start physically manifesting some of these things for yourself, to have physical artifacts, whether that's videos or documents, subscriptions, entry-level free tier subscriptions to services, and just poking around and trying stuff out. You don't have to create the masterpiece right now. Just poke around and try stuff out. That's it. So you're not being asked to go the whole distance in one go. It can feel like, as artists or entrepreneurs, that we have to be perfect right out of the gate, and that any level of working on the project is the final version, and it's not. It's never going to be, because even after you release things, you can iterate on those things, improve them, or go different direction. Because especially as a business owner, after you start getting some clients, there's going to be nuances to your business that you will have to refine after getting the clients. After you've quote unquote created this perfect business, part of that process is going to be refinement after you've released it into the world and you've got real clients. Part of being an artist, a musician, after releasing your music or your videos, you're going to get feedback about those things, and then you iterate on that. It's not going to be the very first thing that you post is going to be the only thing that you create or the perfect thing that you create. So taking that weight off of it helps your emotions detach in a way where it can begin to feel like play and experimentation and fun, which is the energy that, when embodied, is going to be your highest creations anyway. So my challenge to you is, this week, touch on your project just twice. It can even just be for 10, 20, 30 minutes. Sign in to the platform that you've been staring at without creating an account. Create that account and poke around in the platform. Shoot a practice video with your iPhone. Record something with your guitar and your crappy mic from your computer. Just a little practice session. That's all I'm asking. That is going to propel you farther than sharpening the idea in your head. As always, thanks for watching, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Smash it. Tap it. You can, with any amount of pressure, click the subscribe button. The point is clicking it, not smashing it. It's just the fact that you hit the button.